My name is Jake Carter, and what I'm about to tell you isn't just a story, it's a warning. It happened in the fall of 2023 in a nowhere town called Blackthorn Ridge, West Virginia. Population, barely 2,000. The kind of place where everyone knows your name, but no one really knows you. I grew up there, alongside my best friends Lila Grayson, Ethan Brooks, and Sarah Delgado. We were tight, the kind of crew that stuck together through thick and thin. But that fall, something found us. Something old, something hungry, and it didn't let us go. It started with a dare. October was creeping in, and Blackthorn Ridge was drowning in that crisp, golden chill you only get in the Appalachians. Halloween was a week away, and we were restless. The four of us were sprawled out in Ethan's basement. His parents were out of town, so it was our unofficial hangout spot. The television flickered with some slasher flick. None of us were really watching. Lila, always the instigator, tossed a crumpled soda can at Ethan. "You're boring tonight, Brooks," she said, smirking. "What's the wildest thing we could do before Halloween?" Ethan, all lanky 6'2" of him, grinned back. "What? You want to TP Principal Hayes' house again? We're seniors, no gotta level up." Sarah, curled up on the couch with her hoodie pulled tight, rolled her eyes. "Or we could not get arrested. My mom would kill me." I leaned back in my chair, cracking my knuckles. "How about the Hollow?" The room went quiet. Even the television seemed to hush. The Hollow wasn't just a place, it was a legend in Blackthorn Ridge. An old farmhouse, abandoned since the 70s, sitting on the edge of town where the woods swallowed the road. People said it was cursed. Kids went missing there in the 80s, and the stories never stopped. Growing whispers in the dark, shadows that moved on their own, a woman's voice calling from the trees. No one went near it unless they were stupid or drunk. Lila's eyes lit up. "You're serious, Jake?" "Why not?" I said, shrugging like it was no big deal. "We've talked about it since middle school. Senior year. Last Halloween before college lets do it." Ethan laughed, but it was nervous. "Dude, my cousin swears he saw something out there once. Like a figure in the window that wasn't human." "Probably a raccoon," Sarah muttered, but she didn't sound convinced. Lila clapped her hands. "It's settled. Tomorrow night. We'll sneak out, hit the Hollow, and prove it's all bullshit. Bring your phone, Jake, you're filming it." I nodded, already picturing the YouTube views. Deal. The next night, we met up at the edge of town, where Main Street turned into a gravel path, swallowed by pines. It was past midnight, the moon a thin sliver overhead. I had my phone and a flashlight. Ethan brought a baseball bat, just in case. Lila had a backpack with snacks and a cheap Bluetooth speaker. Sarah clutched a cross necklace her grandma gave her. We were a mess of bravado and nerves, but we weren't turning back. The walk to the Hollow took 30 minutes. The air got colder the closer we got, like the forest was holding its breath. The farmhouse loomed up ahead of sagging, two-story wreck with broken windows and a porch that looked ready to collapse. Paint peeled off in strips, and the front door hung crooked on its hinges. It didn't look haunted so much as dead, like something had sucked the life out of it years ago. "Cozy," Lila said, kicking a rock. "Who's going in first?" Ethan hefted his bat. "Not it." Sarah hugged herself. This was a mistake. I turned on my phone's camera, the screen lighting up our faces. "Come on, guys. We're here. Let's at least peek inside." The porch creaked under our weight as we climbed the steps. Up close, the house smelled like rot and wet wood. I pushed the door open. It scraped the floor with a sound like a scream. Inside, the air was thick, heavy with dust. My flashlight beam cut through the dark, picking out overturned furniture, shattered glass, and walls stained with something I hoped was just mold. "Looks like a crack den," Ethan whispered. "Or a horror movie set," Lila added, stepping past me. Her speaker blared some lo-fi beat, echoing weirdly off the walls. Sarah stayed close to me, her voice low. "Jake, I don't like this. It feels wrong." I brushed it off. "It's just an old house. Relax." But she was right. The deeper we went, the heavier it felt, like the air was pressing down on us. We found a staircase leading up, the steps warped and splintered. Lila, fearless as ever, started climbing. "Come on, wusses. Let's see the view." Upstairs was worse. The hallway was narrow, lined with doors that wouldn't budge. One room was open, a bedroom with a mattress rotting in the corner, a cracked mirror on the wall, and a single chair facing the window. The glass was smeared with handprints, too many to count, like someone had been clawing to get out. Ethan swung his bat idly. "Okay, this is freaky." Lila laughed, but it was forced. "What? You think a ghost left those?" "Maybe," Sarah said, her voice trembling. "Can we go now?" I panned my camera around, zooming in on the handprints. "Guys, this is gold. We're not leaving yet." That's when we heard Ida low, rhythmic thumping, like footsteps, but slower, deliberate. It was coming from below us, in the house. We froze, staring at each other. Lila turned off her speaker, and the silence was deafening. "Probably the wind," I said, but my mouth was dry. The thumping stopped, then started again, closer. Sarah grabbed my arm. "Jake, that's not wind." Ethan raised his bat. "Let's check it out. If it's some squatter, I'll scare him off." We crept back downstairs, every creak of the floorboards like a gunshot. The sound was coming from the kitchen, a small, filthy room with a rusted sink and a back door boarded shut. The thumping was louder here, steady, like a heartbeat. It wasn't the wind. It wasn't pipes. It was something. Lila pointed to a trapdoor in the floor, half hidden under a pile of debris. "There. It's coming from there." "No way," Sarah hissed. "We're not opening that." But Ethan was already moving, shoving the junk aside. The trapdoor was old, wooden, with a rusted latch. He yanked it open, and a wave of cold, damp air hit us. Below was a cellar, dark, narrow stairs disappearing into nothing. I aimed my flashlight down. The beam caught dirt walls, cobwebs, and something else, scratches, deep and jagged, carved into the wood like claw marks. "We should leave," Sarah pleaded. Lila smirked, but her eyes were wide. "What? And miss the adventure?" Ethan looked at me. "Your call, man." I swallowed hard. "We've come this far. Let's see what's down there." The stairs groaned under us as we descended. The cellar was small, maybe 10 by 10, with a dirt floor and walls that glistened with moisture. The air was thick, sour, like something had died down here and never left. My flashlight swept the space empty, except for a pile of old junk in the corner. Rusted cans, a broken shovel, and what looked like a child's shoe caked in mud. The thumping was gone. It was just us, our breathing, and the drip of water somewhere in the dark. "See?" Lila said, forcing a laugh. "Nothing. We freaked out over nothing." Then, Sarah screamed. She was staring at the wall behind me. I spun around, and my flashlight caught a figure, scratched into the dirt. It was crude, stick-like, but unmistakably human, with long arms and no face. Next to it were words carved deep. "It sees you." Ethan backed up. "What the hell is that?" "It's old," I said, my voice shaking. "Probably some kid messing around." "Kids don't come down here," Sarah snapped. "We need to go. Now." That's when the trapdoor slammed shut above us. The sound echoed like a gunshot. We bolted for the stairs, Ethan leading the way. He pounded on the trapdoor, but it wouldn't budge. "It's stuck. Help me." I shoved my shoulder against it, nothing. Lila clawed at the latch, no give. Sarah was crying now, clutching her necklace. "Someone's up there! Someone locked us in!" "No one's up there," I said, but I wasn't sure. We'd been alone. Hadn't we? The thumping started again, not above us below. From the dirt floor, slow, steady, like something was waking up. Lila grabbed my arm. "Jake, what is that?" "I don't know," I whispered. My flashlight flickered, then died. I smacked at nothing. Ethan's phone light came on, casting long shadows across the cellar. The scratches on the walls seemed deeper now, the figure's arms longer. "We're not alone," Sarah sobbed. "I can feel it." And then we heard the voice. Soft, faint, like a whisper through a wall. "Stay." The whisper came again, clearer this time. "Stay with me." It wasn't one of us. It was female, low and raspy, like it hadn't spoken in years. Ethan swung his bat at the air. "Who's there? Show yourself." Nothing answered, but the air shifted colder, heavier. My breath fogged in front of me. Sarah was praying now, her words tumbling over each other. Lila's bravado was gone. She pressed against the wall, eyes darting. I banged on the trapdoor again. "Help! Somebody!" The whisper left had a dry, broken sound. "No one hears." The dirt floor shifted, just a little, like something moved beneath it. Ethan's light caught at a ripple, small but real. Then another. The thumping grew louder, faster, matching my heartbeat. "We're getting out," I said, grabbing the shovel from the junk pile. I jammed it under the trapdoor's edge and pried. Wood splintered, but it held. Ethan joined me, swinging his bat at the hinges. The metal bent, then snapped. With one last heave, the trapdoor flew open, and we scrambled out, dragging Sarah with us. The kitchen was empty, the house silent, but the air felt wrong, like it was watching us. We didn't stop to look. We ran through the living room, out the front door, into the night. The forest swallowed us as we stumbled back to town, not stopping until we hit Main Street. We didn't talk about it the next day, or the day after. We told ourselves it was a prank, a trick of the mind. But I couldn't shake it. The whispers, the scratches, the feeling of being seen. I uploaded the footage to my laptop, but the audio was corrupted, just static and garbled noise. The video cut out right before the cellar. I didn't post it. A week later, Lila disappeared. It was Halloween night. She'd been distant since the Hollow, skipping school, avoiding us. Her mom said she went for a walk and never came back. The cops searched the woods, the town, everywhere, nothing. Her phone was found on the path to the Hollow, battery dead. Ethan started having nightmares. He'd wake up screaming about long arms pulling him into the dirt. Sarah wouldn't leave her house. She said she heard the whispers at night, calling her name. I tried to hold it together, but I felt it too, that weight, that presence, following me. 2 weeks after Lila vanished, I went back, alone. I had to know. The Hollow looked the same, dead, empty, waiting. I brought a crowbar this time, and a better flashlight. The house was quieter than before, like it knew I was coming. I went straight to the cellar, my heart pounding. The trapdoor was still broken, the stairs still scratched. The air was colder than I remembered. The figure on the wall was different. Its arms stretched to the ceiling now, and the words had changed. "You came back." I heard her then, Lila. Her voice, faint but real, from the dirt. "Jake, help me." I dropped to my knees, clawing at the floor with the crowbar. The dirt was loose, unnaturally soft. I dug until my hands bled, until I hit something hard, a wooden box, small and rotting. Inside was a locket, rusted shut. I pried it open. A photo stared back at me, a woman, young, with dark eyes, smiling. On the back, in faded ink, Mary Ellis, 1972. The whispers surrounded me then, a chorus of them. "Stay, stay, stay, Stay! The dirt shifted again, and I saw its fingers, pale and thin, breaking through the floor. Not Lila's. Older. Decayed. I ran. I didn't stop until I was home, the locket still in my hand. I looked up Mary Ellis. She was Rila, school teacher who lived in the hollow until 1972. She vanished, along with 3 kids she'd been tutoring. The town assumed she'd run off, but the rumors said otherwise. Some claimed she'd gone mad, locked the kids in the cellar, and buried them alive. Others said she'd been buried with them, a victim of something darker. The house was abandoned after that, and the stories grew. I don't know what's true, but I know what I saw, what I felt. Lila's gone, and I think she's still there, trapped with Mary, with whatever that thing is. Ethan's in therapy now. Sarah's a shell of herself. And I can't sleep. The whispers follow me. The locket's in my drawer, and sometimes, late at night, I hear it creak open on its own. Blackthorn Ridge doesn't talk about the hollow anymore. But it's still there, waiting. If you're ever in West Virginia, driving those winding roads, and you see a sign for Blackthorn, keep going. Don't stop. Don't look back. Because if you do, it might see you too.